Welcome back to Rugby Tonight. It's time for us now to learn a little bit more about Ben. And I've just thought of something. What are you doing? What are you two doing?
He's stolen my phone. I'm just getting it back before.
What are you hiding?
Despite not looking great, I thought they must have great pockets, but it's fell out of it.
I've just thought of something, actually. You are all one club men, which is quite rare, right, in this day and age. So my question to you, Ben...
Taking you 50 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I've known you for 7 years. It's taken me that long to work that out. But in terms of kind of you, Ben, you've been at Leicester since you were, what, 17?
Yep.
So why? What is it about the club that's kept you there?
Oh, well, firstly, my dad played there, and I grew up supporting Leicester my whole life. It was always an ambition to play for them. Obviously, my older brother's there, so with all that, it was just once I was there, I loved it, and yeah, I've never wanted to go anywhere else. And
you've known these two, haven't you, for quite some time
as
well. So I want to kind of ask you, because obviously you've grown up watching these two play. What was your first impressions when you actually met them as a child? And then I'm going to ask you what you think of them now, having got to know them properly.
We can't air that, surely.
Yeah, we can. It's absolutely fine. No. What was your first impressions of them?
Well, I think I got to play with Benny, so you see obviously from the photo up there, but I actually played with Benny, and
that was the year I decided to retire when you brought that photo.
yeah, it was actually on there. And so when I came in, and he taught me sort of the role of the 9 in terms of bossing a forward pack and what that's expected around maul time and maul defence and all that, and really looked after me. So I'm always very grateful for that. And Oz obviously never played with because he played too old, exactly. But obviously watched him growing up, and I suppose with Oz is the old classic double dummy scissors, which you wouldn't get away with now, but the old double dummy scissors in between the 13 and the wingers, and put Lloydie away for Heineken Cup win.
Yeah, glad you just brought up that my whole career was based on one move. Very kind of you.
Some great moments, though. We asked you a question earlier in terms of if you had to build the perfect Leicester Tigers player of all the players that you've played with or played with, whether past or present, who would they be? And the first one you gave was Martin Johnson under the banner of leadership. I mean, it's a fairly obvious question, but why?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously never had the honour of playing with Jono, but he coached me at England for a while, and just the way that he led as a head coach and all that was unbelievable. So without doubt, you know, what he achieved and what he did as a leader goes without saying. So yeah, of course it would be
amazing eyebrow as well.
Amazing eyebrow.
Yeah.
Really thick. Would you
His
guys have anyone
monumental.
different? Would you guys have anyone different? You'd have had Austin.
He was a real team man.
Right, in terms of work rate, who would you pick?
Neil Back.
Neil Back.
Yeah.
Ben, for yourself?
Yeah, Neil Back as well.
Neil Back.
Yeah.
I mean, you picked your brother, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously... Selection is subjective. Been slightly biased, but for me, Tom just he leads with the way he works. So for me, you know, I often play alongside him and sort of admire him during the game, just how hard he works for the team.
Before we move on to Vision, and you've played, you know, alongside your brother for years now. How does that kind of work out? Kind of seeing your sibling as an adult, seeing them every day, working alongside them.
Oh, look, we have a great relationship. We're very, very close. You know, to do what we do and live this dream and this sort of job that we have, which is very, very special, and to do it alongside him and share the memories and be able to have a beer and talk about the things that we've both experienced together is very, very special. So, you know, I do stand behind the ruck at times and see him at ruck time and get, you know, try and jackal the ball and come out the other side and you think, please get up. But, yeah, no, it's a great thing to do together.
Nice.
For Vision, you picked George Ford. You've had some brilliantly gifted players in that backline which you've played with. Why does George Ford stand out head and shoulders above everyone else?
I just think his distribution, he reads the game extremely well. And I love goes flat to line. He's willing to go. He's willing to chuck it. He can kick off both feet very, very well. Identify space. He's just a great guy to play with, and I think he's been a huge pivotal part in terms of this year and keeping us safe at the moment.
Certainly is. Ben, Oz, would you pick anyone different vision-wise?
Graham Rowntree. Amazing vision. 2 satellite dishes on the side of his head. He picks up space all over the pitch.
Oh my gosh. Ben, moving on, building this ultimate Leicester Tigers player. Most skillful, you picked Jordan Murphy.
Yeah.
Now your coach. Contract time coming up?
No, I've got a while, yeah. But no, both. Oz and Benny obviously played with Geordie as well, but for me, he just, some of the things he could do in training, and it was so effortless, and he just extremely gifted player in his skills, extremely slick.
Jordan Murphy's been compared to George Best, the George Best of rugby at times. I mean, I played against him, an unbelievable player to play against. He made defences look, pointless at times. I mean, Oz, you'd have played in a back three with him. What were your memories?
I'd say he's definitely the top 2 of the most gifted players to play for that club.
Thanks, mate. I go for a Graham Roundtree.
OK, acceleration. You've got some pretty quick boys that you've played with over the time, but you went for Johnny May. I mean, it's a fairly obvious question, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, again, just I think he's top of the try scoring at the moment, isn't he, currently? So he has the ability to change a game from a hack through or anything. You know he's going to be on the end of it. So for me, he puts a huge emphasis every day in trying to get better and quicker.
Why are you shaking your head?
Not even close. Serevi, by far the quickest guy you've ever seen accelerate over 3 strides. He'd go to full speed before he got off the stool. He was unbelievable how fast he was.
OK,
Did you ever see him jump off a stool and do 3 strides?
Yeah, it was part of the training session.
Okay, all right.
Couldn't see him, he was too quick.
OK, Young G, a couple of quick, just a couple more. Mentality, you picked Lewis Deacon. Why?
Yep, just another guy that I played with and loved what he was about. He was a man of few words, but you know, he certainly left everything out on the field, and I just really enjoyed his mentality of how he wanted to lead from the front.
And for Brain, you picked George Ford, but we've already heard a little bit about it. Who would you 2 pick from players that you played with?
Best brain?
Yes.
Well, off the pitch, me.
Oh, so
on the
boring.
pitch, maybe Joel Stransky.
OK, very good.
Okay.
Pat Howard.
Pat Howard, yeah. He's pretty epic, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, that was good. I said at the beginning that we're going to learn more about you, Ben. You spent that entire 5 minutes talking about everybody else.